Hi, everybody. Welcome to the TCCW Live. We're here with our brand new member, Dennis, and we also have our OG, Michael Fine. So, welcome, everybody. This is going to be a fun little chat. We're going to get to know everybody here and just kind of have a members rally. I guess is what we could call it, right? So, first of all, welcome, Dennis. Nice to officially meet you. I know a lot of the members in the group have been, you know, really interested in a lot of the content that you've been posting and putting out there recently. And I know you have a really like direct content focus on your channel. And let's get into some of that. Firstly, how did you end up in the carnivore world? How did you become, as I said earlier this morning, a carnivorian?
Yes, hello everyone. It's nice to see you live too, guys. Happy to be here. Um, my story, how I got here now, it's a little bit long story, but I'm gonna try to make it as brief as possible.
That's okay. Everyone's
We
experience
have,
is so important, and
yeah,
what if it helps
All right.
one person out there, at least start thinking about things a little bit differently. It's always worth the experience, and I would love to learn more about how you got to where you are, Dennis, because now you're at a point where you're trying to impact and make better for all of humanity, whoever reaches your content, who you can help. So I'd love to know how you got there, because everybody here, we've gotten there in our different ways, but we're all here on the same journey. So it's great to see how everything funnels together in the different experiences. So
Yeah, that's right. Awesome. So yeah, a short introduction. So I've recently graduated from the Carnivore International certification course. I know a few members of this group are also participating. So, and the road to this place has been quite, well, quite steep. But I will probably start that I've been living in Finland for 13 years now, but originally I'm from Russia. I think I haven't mentioned it before in our chat, but I'm not trying to hide my identity or anything. It just didn't occur to me in the moment. Um, so I got into like my first findings about nutrition occurred when I was about like 15, 16 years old, and because I got into fitness and bodybuilding and I wanted to get jacked. So that was my motivation for, to get knowledge just so I can be huge. But and of course you start like with some magazines, then maybe you go to some website. But it was like early 2010s. So in Russia, there wasn't a lot of developed info in this field, especially online. But now it's better. But back then I managed with what I had. And I started to, well, learn about how you should train and how you should eat. And, now you sort of all know that it's sort of this fitness dogma that all fitness influencers espouse, like calories in, calories out, hit your macros, bulking, cutting, this kind of stuff. But for what it's worth, it works, it gets results. And but what I noticed when I started to, sorry, did you want to say
yeah,
something?
at this point, were you eating very whole food based, or were you doing a lot of supplementation?
Nah, well, it's just whatever your parents put on your table, which is, well, a little bit of everything. Um, I just wanted to say that when you start, I was in school back there, so I was living with my family, and well, they just cook like a big bunch of food, and then you all eat it, and there is like some junk food on the side, anything goes. Um, but I started to quickly find out that actually not a lot of people know about nutrition, because you start talking to your parents and you start talking to your friends and your parents' friends, and you just get to this realization that nobody can help me with that, because people can. It's not to to say something negative about them, but that's just how it goes in with most people. You learn how to eat from your parents mostly, and just from everybody around you. Are not educated on that or anything. Maybe you will see on the TV that eggs are bad or something, but
They're finally starting to say they're good.
well, they've been going back and forth with that.
Yeah, well, at least here the FDA, they finally came out and said eggs won't kill you, and they're actually
Yeah,
healthy. So
yeah,
hopefully that'll come soon over where you're at in the
yeah,
mainstream,
yeah.
because it's starting to catch on a little bit.
Well, hopefully, yeah, hopefully. So, yeah, and I realized that I need to learn everything myself, and just from a bunch of random people on the internet and some wikis and some encyclopedias and stuff like this. But it was basic, sort of surface level stuff, like I already mentioned. And well, it has been working for me. I've been bulking and cutting, which in retrospect it was quite a miserable experience compared to where I am now. But I've been going through these sort of like cycles of gaining weight and losing weight in my university, and I've also got injured. Like when I did some heavy lifting, I injured my lower back, so I had a herniated disc, and
wow.
this sort of I had to like cut down on exercise, and it was quite painful experience, but it is what it is. And when I wasn't doing too much sport, I started eating more. Somehow it works with my psychology, or at least it worked back then, that when I'm exercising, I'm on it. When I don't, I sort of get loose.
Okay.
But yeah, I started to exercise less, and then I sort of derailed a little bit, got a little bit chubbier. But I knew what I had to do in order to come back in shape. But I think I first heard about carnivore in 2020 when we had an epidemic going, and everybody started to get concerned about their health. And I started to watch a lot of podcasts on what can you do to maybe lose weight, get in shape, increase your immunity, stuff like this. And alongside all of the things, I've seen a few podcasts. For example, this when Dr. Sean Baker came to Joe Rogan, this was a big thing for me in terms of carnivore. I heard about carnivore as a concept, and I used to think, well, there are some weird people who are only eating red meat. Well, good luck to them, you know. But
Right.
then I heard it from some people who actually knew what they're talking about, and it actually fascinated me, because I remember he told about gluconeogenesis, and I didn't know. I was like, you have to eat carbs because your muscles they use carbs. Some parts of your brain they use glucose, and you're gonna die if you're not gonna eat it. But oh my God, my body actually can create it. So
Ain't
that
that
was
something?
interesting. Yeah, that was interesting. Also, among the things I've already known, I also remember they say in the fitness world, they say you have to eat like 5 to 6 times per day to sort of boost your metabolism, whatever that means. And I always was thinking that I know that when you eat foods, especially rich in carbohydrates, your insulin spikes, and that actually inhibits lipolysis and fat burning. And it was sort of counterintuitive to me. And well, with how the conversation went on the podcast, it started to make a little sense to me. And I decided to give it a go. And actually, I
And
forgot to say that,
this was in 2020 is when you first decided
yeah,
to give
yeah.
and that was after you found Dr. Sean Baker, who was a professional, had more of an understanding to everything, and he actually came to your town or to your country, which is and you attended that.
No. I'm only talking about seeing the episodes online.
Oh, okay.
The podcast episodes,
Okay.
and also, but Sean Baker wasn't the only one. If you remember Jordan Peterson
Oh, of course.
spoke about it openly. He said that, well, I'm not a medical expert, but here is how I do things regarding my nutrition, and here is the story of my child. And then I followed Michaela Peterson and heard what she had to say, and well, she has a fascinating story also of recovery.
Did you come across Saladino at that point? Because I think that's when he was still carnivore.
Well, I think it's only after I was like a couple of months into carnivore. And I remember he was also on Joe Rogan's, and I actually really liked this episode because he seemed very sophisticated with how he explained certain mechanisms. Like, it was on point back then, and I was impressed. But I failed to mention that actually, because of this whole insulin thing, I thought, like, I naturally gravitated towards maybe I need to cut down on carbs, and I already was trying to lose weight, and I was basically eating steaks and salads on the side. So that was my menu. And I did it for maybe about a month before carnivore. So the transition went smoothly, actually.
Do you know how many grams of salads you were doing? Were you doing like 100 grams of whatever you're doing?
Well, it's like a bowl of salads.
Okay, so you weren't, at that point you weren't weighing it out. It was just kind of like
no. I sort of decided to go in to cut down the processed crap, to cut down the sugar, and just focus on protein and whatever is in salads. There's spoiler, there is not much in there, but I didn't know at the time.
I think arugula is like one of the kindest leaves if you're going to eat one. I think arugula is the way to go.
Yeah. Well, you gotta get your fiber, man. Like,
oh no, you don't.
How else are you gonna poop? No, I'm just
it's
being
required.
I'm just being a little facetious over here, okay?
Well, I know, man. I haven't had fiber in almost 3 years, and can you believe I still haven't pooped? Can't believe it.
Yeah. Like, we are all so constipated.
We don't poop. What are you talking
about? and I don't look like Violet from Willy Wonka either.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, when I first went this sort of keto-ish thing that I invented in my head, I felt like I was hypoglycemic. I was like, there is a little bit of transition, but I was like, yeah, I need to push through it because I've been through cutting and it's hell. So I can take that. But so I was 1 month into that, and then I saw all this information. I was like, oh, I just have to toss the salad basically and increase my meat and fat. So I did just that, and in 5 days, there was something incredible that happened. Like I couldn't believe my energy skyrocketed. I just tossed the salad, just no salad, and that made the biggest difference in the world, because I started sleeping better. I didn't get sore after my trainings. Back then I was actually not lifting, but I was doing bouldering. This is, do you know what's bouldering?
Yeah.
It's a type of climbing for anyone who doesn't know. And I also wanted to lose fat for that, because the lighter you are, like the more agile you are on the wall. So I started feeling incredibly well. And when people say that on carnivore I feel like a Superman, it sounds kind of, but you really have to experience it yourself and internalize it to understand what it really means, that you are almost living like on another level, or at least it seemed to me back then, because maybe I was comparing it to how I felt previously. And I was like, no, I'm not coming back. That's it. I figured it out. I just need to make sure that I don't die from all this cancer in meat.
Did your doctor tell you that was going to happen, or that was just one of the things that you heard over the years that kind of like?
Well, yeah, of course, it's just the main consensus of what everybody's telling you. I cut down on red meat and cholesterol and this crap.
Yeah.
And I actually, when I said 5 days I was in, and I felt all of this, but I also had some some issues with my digestion. I had I have an IBS, which is now reversed, but it comes back when I'm being too bad with my coffee or some other nasty things. But anyway, I paid a visit to doctor to get some medicine for that, or just to get examined, like what's going on. And he was asking me like, well, what are you eating? Like, are you eating something shady? I was like, well, I'm just I tried this all meat diet. And he was like, so you're eating only meat and fat? I was like, yeah. He was like, he told me straight in the face, that's stupid.
Right.
That's what he said. And I actually I know that doctors sometimes they are well, let's say a little bit more conservative, and I let it slide. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do, just prescribe me something for my gut, and I'm gonna eat. I asked him, how should I eat? He was like, normally. Normal, whatever
what is
that means. Yeah,
the current guideline.
yeah, I guess so. But I never returned to well, not never, but it's a story for later. So from this moment on, I was 6 months strict carnivore. I didn't eat dairy, but I was eating mostly just animal meat, enough fat, and I was working out like crazy. I went bouldering 6 times per week, so 6 days per week I was working out, like long sessions, multiple hours, and I never was sore. And just for comparison, before I came onto carnivore, bouldering is very it's a sport that's very hard on your joints, especially your elbows. And if I trained more than 2 days, I would get this, for the whole next day I would get just severe pain in my elbow. And I also have herniated spine disc, as I already mentioned. So this also subsided with carnivore. Like, I felt flexible, I felt light, everything was great, and I could basically work out forever, which for anyone that's watching, that's probably not always a good idea. Because what happened next, why I say that I've been sort of on and off from 2020 to where I'm now, is because I felt so good that I was doing all of this exercise. And I'm living now in Finland, and it's very cold over here, and it was winter time. So sometimes there was like minus 20 Celsius on the street. It's like very low temperature. And what I did is I went, worked out, sweated, of course, and then I did a half an hour run towards my home on this cold weather. And what happened next is half a year went perfectly fine. But then I started to get sick periodically. I got sick like once in a month, then a couple of times in a month, just the regular cold symptoms. And I started going to doctors because I knew that something feels off, and then I'm sick again. I was like, no, all my colleagues were right. I'm dying from this weird meat diet.
Right.
And I went to the doctor, and sometimes doctors are great, but sometimes they're of no help. And unfortunately with me, like, I came to a doctor and I said that I'm a 25-year-old guy and I'm doing all this sport activity and I'm supplementing, and I was supplementing with zinc and vitamin D because it was an advice against the virus. But I haven't had any supplementations apart from that. And yeah, I'm doing all these things, and I am the sickest one, in the collective, and everybody's laughing at me.
Did you end up overworking your body? Or was just your body kind of like fighting back?
Yeah, I'll get to that. He replied at the time that, well, that happens. That happens, you can get sick multiple times in a month. It's okay.
It's probably getting older.
It's normal.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, that's weird. It didn't help at all. And this progressed for about 4 months. until I finally got to the cause of it. It turns out that it's actually my sinuses, my maxillary sinuses. They probably, because of the cold exposure and because of the chalk content in the gym. It's a closed bouldering gym, so there is a lot of chalk in the air, and some particles probably came, also taking into account how much I trained at the time. So I was breathing all of that, and then I went running on a cold street, and probably this messed up my sinuses to a point that they were so swollen that even the air could not pass through. So, sorry, I still have some sinus issues to this day, but although it's better. And
the chalk in the cold air was probably crystallizing the moisture. So when you were inhaling, it was probably just like shredding up your sinuses.
Also, I have been asthmatic as a kid.
Okay.
And then when I came to a specialist who, I don't remember the proper name for it, but who specializes in the breathing sort of like system, he told me that, well, because you have been asthmatic, it means that your whole system which you breathe through, including your sinuses, it's sensitive to irritation, and this is very plausible that it happened after I did all of that, and that was very bad. You know, when you hear like sinus issues, you're like, well, you have like runny nose, like, you know, whatever. But it actually was so bad, it was so extreme that I have been very, very sick. It was almost debilitating to the point that I tried to not get outside in order not to have any, you know, infection starting again due to swelling of cold. You know, I basically became a little bit agoraphobic. I wanted to stay home just not to get sick, but I still got sick a lot of times because when your sinuses are not ventilated, they are, well, you get mucus piling up, and then the infection may develop inside. So basically,
so it's not so it's not draining the way that it should.
Yes,
leaving more mucus, more area, which allows bacteria to do its thing.
It's not even aerating properly.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't even imagine what your sleep would be like when I get a cold, and it's like I dread going to sleep.
It was a very painful period in my life, and I've gone through a lot of treatment for that, some of which helped and some of which did not, but all of this was mostly temporary effect. So I still had this core issue. And finally, well, during this time when I was sick, I derailed completely from Carnivore because, well, I was very unmotivated and a little bit depressed. And, you know, you start eating your pizza and your ice cream here and there, things like that. And I'm sort of a binge eater. I have a weird relationship with food, or I used to have, I should say. I'm the guy who gains weight like pretty fast. And I'm also the guy who can get pretty addicted to junk food. So anyway, what happened is after a few years of trial and error, the final doctor that I came to, he was like, okay, I'm going to refer you to this government clinic, and they are going to probably make a surgery for you. And that's what happened. I had to wait in the line a long time for it, but it finally happened, and I actually haven't had an infection since the surgery. And when I was in the operating room, after
how long ago was the surgery?
Well, the surgery goes for maybe 1.5 hours, and it's local anesthesia.
Oh no, not how long the surgery was. How long ago did you have?
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
Well, I think from where I started to getting these sinus problems to where I got the surgery, it was 3 years. So quite
3 years of the
long
journey. And then since you've had the surgery, how long has it been since?
Okay, since the surgery. Since the surgery, it's maybe 1.5 years.
Okay.
Or maybe I don't remember exactly when it happened, but 1.5 to 2 years ago. And yeah, after they did that and I healed, I started feeling better again. I started feeling that, okay, I can now work out, I can do all of these things. And you have to know that by this point I became, my weight was 91 kilograms. I'm not sure if it's in pounds. I think it's 2.2.
Yeah, so it's like you're like 205, 210 pounds ish.
Yeah, which I'm 178 centimeters, which is 5.8 feet.
Okay.
And this for me is quite a big weight. Like I wasn't, maybe you wouldn't call it fat, but I was packing some
Yeah.
mass.
Yeah.
So I decided, okay, yeah, I remember how it was great on Carnivore. I need to start doing that again. And I've been following, because I'm interested in nutrition and all of these things. I've been following it a little bit, not as actively as before, but I've been watching some Dr. Barry, some Paul Saladino. Then I saw like Paul Saladino decided to quit, and he had his reasons. I was like, okay, maybe it's not for everybody.
Just don't eat too many organs without any
Yeah,
exactly
exactly.
the situation. But
so then maybe now I am on clean carnivore for 1 year and 1 month, and I'm down. Sorry.
I said nice.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, and when you say clean carnivore, you're talking just meat, fat. Are you having butter or eggs right now, or bake or pork, or are you just doing red meat?
Yeah, I'm having some pork from time to time.
Okay.
I'm only mostly salting my food, so I'm not using spices because of the IBS history. It sometimes gets very sensitive to any sort of irritant, so I try to keep it as clean as possible for myself. So yeah, salt and meat. I quit dairy some months ago. So maybe if you include dairy, it wasn't clean the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And also when I transitioned back, it was like a few months of dirty carnivore, you could say. Maybe having some drinks here and there, but I didn't stress too much about it. And hello.
Hey, Simon.
How you doing? Hi, Dennis. Hi, Mike.
Hi, nice to meet
Hi,
you.
everyone watching.
Simon!
I'm alive. I haven't died of scurvy. I haven't had a heart attack. I haven't done matcha and seed oil shots and OD'd. I'm carnivore. Still alive.
Wait, what are you talking about? I thought we were having this.
Still destroying eggs like there's no tomorrow.
We're not having this discussion in heaven right now. Is that not what's going on?
Must be. Selena's voice is active, so it must be in heaven.
You are too kind. Too kind.
I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. Sorry to interrupt you. I popped on for a few minutes. Say hi. Hi, Dennis. Welcome. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Dennis, this is a carnivorous Brit in our group, also obviously known as Simon. Or as
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you live. I've been following you for some time now.
As I have you. It's good. I enjoy your post.
Ron did post a question since you hopped on, but have you pooped yet?
Oh, no.
Still waiting.
Yeah. Someday.
Today is not the day.
Today is not the day. Carpe diem.
Yep. So I was blabbering on about my story, and it's almost the end to that. It's I've been cleaning out my carnivore for 1 year and 1 month now, and I've lost 16 kilos. Well, it goes, my weight fluctuates right now, but it's still mostly that it's trending down, especially after I cut dairy. So
what are you now, like 70, 72 kilos?
Well, I am about 75-ish.
75-ish,
and it goes like plus minus 1 or 2, depending on the day, basically. But I'm almost not weighting myself, so it would be hard to tell exactly. But anyway, yeah, I got back in shape, and I think actually it's the weight dropped to 75 after maybe half a year. So now I'm quite stable. And back then, you guys probably know Eddie Goki, right?
Yeah.
Yes. He's been alive.
I love his content, and I've been following him also. And he started to promote this certification program with Carnivore Coach International.
Carnivore Coaches
with
International.
with
Yeah.
Coach Peter. Shout out to both Adi and Peter. And I was like, you have to understand, when I'm into something, I start reading everything. I start watching everything. When somebody says something online, I'm like, that sounds good, but I need to fact check it. So I go do some own reading. I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. At least there is nothing that would, contradict it. Like there is no, for example, we get this meat rots in your colon stuff, and you cannot find any information that if that's true. It's only on vegan forums. So anyway, I was reading a lot of stuff, and also my wife that I've been living together with for 3 years now, she also comes from the background of yo-yo dieting and some like slight eating disorder. And when we started to live together, and I started going on, well, a little bit after when I started doing carnivore again, we had discussions, and she listens to me, and she tries new things. And well, I wasn't pushing it, but I was saying, well, if you want to improve your meals, you'll probably have to, like, these grains, like no grains, maybe eat some salads beside that. But then she started to see how big of a progress I'm making, and I'm saying, like, I'm feeling so good, and I'm reading all this stuff, and I'm discussing it with her. And then we had a conversation, and I told her, maybe you want to try it as well, see how it goes. Like, there is a lot of benefits, like your skin probably becomes better, the hair, like, basically good for everything. And she decided to give it a go. She was like, yeah, maybe sounds weird, but yeah, I see that it works for you. Now we are carnivores together.
How long?
Yeah. For her, I think it's a little bit under 1 year. So I was a few months in, and then she jumped in, but she transitioned slowly, and now.
Any have like a handful of berries here or there, or strict?
I mean,
zero carb.
Sometimes she would like some veggies.
Okay.
Maybe once a month or a couple of times a month. Maybe some fruit. I don't mind. Like, I think it's still better than 99% of what people are eating regularly.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's just coming up to that year point. Like, if you're somebody that is going absolutely zero carb for a year, no veggies, nothing. After that year point, for whatever reason, and maybe it's because your body's preparing for the next year cycle and is expecting not to have any carbs, but your body goes through like this different process where it's like your blood glucose goes to a different level, and doctors see that and they freak out because they don't understand like what's going on with how the body's utilizing glucose for what needs glucose, like your organs, everything like that. So people like Dr. Kiltz, for example, like he'll have his Kiltz ice cream. When you have those little breaks and your body is receiving carbs, it basically delays that process from really happening, from everything that I've gathered so far. So that's a great thing, because some people, like, they don't know what to expect, and then they go to their doctor, and their doctor's like, you're a full-blown diabetic, even though the fasting insulin is at like 55, but their blood glucose could be like 180, just something extremely high, or 150. But
yeah, exactly.
we just lose Simon. You see him?
Blacked out for me.
I got kicked out. I'm back in and out in a minute.
Yeah, that's right. We are lucky that we don't have any. Well, we are feeling great. We don't have any symptomology, so we are not visiting doctors as much. So we don't have these unpleasant conversations, or at least so far we haven't had to do so. But anyway, where I was going with that is that, now we try to organize it so that we eat clean carnivore together. It's very easy, because if your partner is together with you, like, it's so simple. You just cook your meat for 20 minutes, it's done. no preparation, like no extra. Well, maybe if you want to do something more sophisticated, then sure, but it's still not cutting salads and all type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and she's also seen improvement. For example, she's had some skin problems. She would get little pimples here and there, disappeared. Only reappears when there is some dairy, but not as much as before even. And also she's had a problem that she she experienced hair loss during COVID. And she couldn't recover like for 2 years, like it didn't grow as much. And after Carnivore, she I remember like after a few months she came to me and she was like, see, like look, and I was like, what's there, and she was like small, I have small baby hair, like coming out. I
Are
was
you
like,
guys
oh
doing
yeah,
just muscle meat, or are you doing some organs as well, like some heart, some liver?
Yeah, we are doing some organs here and there. It's not as big of a thing, but for example, I definitely feel that beef liver gives me a little bit of a boost, here and there.
Oh yeah.
So I try to, I just love liver also, like how it tastes like. So I have it like every few weeks. Like
Do you go raw, or you cook it through?
No, I cook it. I'm being a pussy, so.
Oh, I got to get you there. Do you do
maybe someday,
a quick sear, or is it like cooked?
I prefer quick sear, sure.
Oh, so it's still like a little cold, chewy in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is this soft crunch inside,
Okay. So you're basically
nice.
there.
Yeah. Just have to toss the searing part.
You're already doing better than I am, because I still take supplements because I just can't do the taste. I'm not a fan.
You should take like little raw pieces and cut it up into like little and freeze them and take that like a pill. So then you're not having the pill cap dissolving every day. That's what I started doing.
That would be nice. For my 3-year-old, what I do is I actually open the cap and I put it in his bone broth.
Oh yeah.
And he loves it. He loves it. So he doesn't get the little capsule, but I am making sure he's getting little bits in there as much as possible.
Yeah. We like to. We have a protein powder that has lung in it. So
nice.
Yeah, so we found it this summer. There were fires and everything, and we're like, oh, you know what? Like we should give lung to help support the lung, and we just kind of kept going with that, and they love it. So I mean, I think organs are phenomenal. Just you don't have to eat them in large quantities every day.
Exactly. Yep. That's interesting that you mentioned lung specifically, because my wife she comes from a home of well, you could call them stat headers. I think that's correct. They had some animals with your parents, and they had some sheep and some cows when she was small. And she remembered she was tending to animals and she was participating in cooking them. And she says that lamb lungs are my favorite food in the world.
Oh, really?
So and I haven't tried them. No.
Eating it.
Yeah. Like cooked.
I mean, if it's anything like I'm sure you've had heart. Heart is amazing.
Yeah, heart is good.
It's tender. It's beefy. Like it's like having like a super soft New York strip without any hard fat on it, basically. It's good.
Yeah.
I was really surprised the first time I tried heart. I thought it was going to be like a kidney experience or a liver experience, because those both have distinct tastes. Blown away.
Did you try beef heart, or which was
that? Yeah, beef heart.
Yeah,
I buy like 1 cow a year. I'm actually about to have Delilah delivered I think next week. But I get every part of the animal. I get the tongue, the tail, all the organs, the pancreas, the adrenal glands. I mean, everything. And I don't put anything to waste in that cow. I completely utilize everything. And the best part is, and obviously depending on what your situation is, like for me, every cut comes out to being like $7.80 a pound. So for me, it's like it's a no-brainer. I'm eating so much meat. Why not? But
Right.
yeah, I'm sure like, and that's me getting from a regenerative source because I'm super mindful. Like people that just want grass fed, I'm sure you can get a cow for probably a third of the price. But
Yeah,
But
that would be
that's really not bad still considering the price.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like regenerative is a little different because it's like you can't overfeed them. Like they're on the land. It depends on how much grass is there. You can't overcrowd the land. They have to migrate. So it's like you're kind of stuck based off of what their operating costs are and how many cows they have. But but other places that are more grass fed, like you'll see cows that are on plains, but they're being given so much grass that it's like they don't even have to graze as much because it's so available. And there's like so I have a friend that gets from them, and it's like it's significantly less. It's kind of crazy. I actually want to ask him so I could try the difference in the taste of meat. Have you ever noticed like, and I don't know, at first I didn't think in Europe it would be as prevalent, but when I was in Switzerland I saw cornfields everywhere we went. So I'm assuming that they're probably corn feeding their cattle as well to a degree, because you'd also see cattle everywhere. Do they grain feed your cattle where you are? Is that a common practice to finish
yeah.
them?
That's actually a very good question because I'm not so sure. I think that it probably depends on the place, like on the farm. Probably some of them are pasture raised, and some of them maybe or are also pasture, and then they are mixing in some grains or stuff like this.
Okay.
But I've been actually it's good that you said that you're sourcing the whole cow, because I was looking into that locally, but unfortunately here with how the things are right now, it would be more expensive to source it from the farmer. And there's also this question of you probably have to have a separate large freezer
Yeah.
for all of that.
Well, I in my freezer I have one tall like stand up freezer, and then obviously European sizes are a little different. And then I have like a small 9 cubic lift top, which between the two of them I could probably fit like probably at least 1.25 cows, depending on how you cut it up. But yeah, definitely see, because like for me where I am, like maybe reach out to different farmers, because I mean, unless they have them all pre-sold, kind of like how McDonald's now is investing like $200 million in regenerative beef here. So like they're buying those cows before before the calves are even delivered to the farm. But like he literally he takes it, chops it up. I mean, Jake from Steak Farm, the guy's hilarious. And he drives it down in a pickup truck that has like a freezer portion in the back that he has plugged into his truck, and he just drives it down. So like there might be a farmer near you that might be interested. Maybe, do you think there's a page kind of like, how there's a website if you're looking for raw milk, it kind of like helps you find raw milk in your area? Do you think there's something?
Well,
yeah.
Sorry, please finish.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that I actually searched for these websites, and I've also been in contact with some of the guys, and it's, well, at least what I found is still quite expensive. And the another problem is that we currently live in a quite small apartment, so we have no way of placing the freezer, and we also have to buy it, which is probably should be affordable enough. But the thing is that it just doesn't fit in here. Maybe in the future. Maybe in the future.
How much? What are you consuming? Like 800 grams of beef a day? Well, between you and your girlfriend, probably like 1.2 kilos.
Well, it really depends. It really depends on the day. Actually, she consumes a lot of eggs in the morning.
Okay.
She does like a very big omelette for her, like 10 eggs or something, with some bacon. I stopped eating eggs because I started feeling that they give me this, they provoke my gut irritability. Or maybe I was thinking that maybe it's something like some slight intolerance towards egg whites. Yeah, because the only anti-nutrients in animal foods are actually 3 components of the egg whites. So maybe it was a good decision for me to part ways with them, at least for now. But maybe when I try to reintroduce them and see how it goes.
Yeah,
at some
love to hear
point.
that.
But what I'm currently eating is well, it's from let's say 800 to 1 kilo of beef or pork a day. I'm fine with pork. I don't have any adverse reaction to it. I feel that is my friend. So sometimes pork here and there is fine for me.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's mostly just meat, fat, and salt. I also render my own beef tallow.
Mhm.
I recently learned, well, a few months ago, I learned how to do that. And I've been also doing some skin creams from it. I'm also planning to do soap out of it. Also the moisturizing lipstick, things like this. It's actually so good. When I was in Carnivore, like in 2020, I heard people discussing like how they're utilizing beef tallow, and I was like, I wouldn't put that on my skin necessarily. But now I see how
Sweet
awesome it is.
ignorance, right?
Yeah, exactly. The more you know.
That's all I use on my face.
Yeah,
So that's my
that's
soap.
awesome. You don't need anything else. And I'll definitely try to do some soap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's tallow and olive oil.
Yeah, exactly. Well, with soap, it's actually you have to get this lime component. I'm not sure what the chemical formula for it is, but it's like
It's a natural derived
caustic
mineral.
soda. Yeah. So yeah, there is a process that when you mix it with water, and well, you need to be careful because it can explode if you do it incorrectly.
Oh.
But then you need to mix in some fat base. Well, in our case, it's beef tallow, and then you have it to put it to rest, like for 4 weeks probably, and then you get soap.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's quite a process to do it that way. Like he's making like real
wait a
hardcore
second.
traditional soap.
Is that similar to how you would make a hand moisturizer? Do you use that same material in that?
Do you mean the liquid one?
Whatever that was,
Or...
because we were flying back from Europe and we went through England, and in Heathrow you had to go through their passport and you had to go through security, and we had a Stone and Spear moisturizer like in the jar or whatever. They're like, you can't have creams. It's not a cream, it's fat. So we're like, okay. And it goes through the machine once and the machine flagged it, but they didn't know what it was, but it was like, there's something potential here. So they ended up doing it a second time, which it was still flagged. So I had to fill out this whole form, basically like saying like, get my passport, my flights, so like they know where I'm going. So like when they have this further inspected in a lab, like God forbid this was something more, because we asked her like, well, with the water, like why can't we just drink it? And they're like, eat it. And they're like, because it could be a 2-step process. So now when you're telling me about this with shampoo and how if you don't mix this correctly, it could explode, I'm like, is that the stuff that was in this cream that basically now has me on probably Britain's like terrorist watch list for going through with moisturizer? I was like, I'll eat it if you want me to. Like, it's just beef fat and like I think beeswax to keep it together. But like,
I'm not so sure. I don't think it's detectable through whatever scanners they have in there, and because it's
I have no idea why the hell this thing went off to this day. I need to reach out to Stone and Spear and be like, why am I on a terrorist watch list in Britain?
Well, for such a random thing.
Yeah. Have you ever gone through airport security with just a jar of like rendered down fat?
We have actually
It's the best.
When we went to Cyprus some few months ago, or no, it wasn't. It was Egypt. Sorry, we went to Egypt, and I brought the beef skin lotion that I made for my mother. But we didn't have any problems. But it's just fat and olive oil, beef fat, olive oil, and that's it. Some aroma oils also, but.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I like to put coconut oil in mine, depending on the percentage. It works really good for like eczema and psoriasis and things like that. I find the coconut oil.
when I have two different ones that I make. I make one that I add castor oil as well, and I use that like to be able to wash my mascara off because the only makeup I wear is mascara and I'll touch up my eyebrows a little bit, but I don't wear anything else.
Yeah.
But to get the mascara off, I use the one that I mix with castor oil because it has a little bit more of an emulsifying to break it down.
Okay.
Even though I just use a beef fat based mascara, but still.
Right. Actually,
So
I would love to get that from you. I'll share it with my wife.
yeah, no problem. Yeah.
So
Send
she's the
you
same
out.
way. We're going out and you just see her literally just doing mascara and like little cat lines or whatever that
Right.
term is called. And she's like, "Oh, it's so nice putting on makeup." I'm like, 2-step process. It's
Yeah.
nice when you just have natural beauty.
It is helpful. It took me a long time to get to that point because I was very young and naively insecure, because like, oh, you've got to follow like all these guidelines, like that whole beauty standard concept as like a young teenager, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had gotten to where my husband was like, I really just don't like makeup on you. And I was like, what? What? And he's like, I just don't really like makeup on you. I think you're prettier without it. And I've pretty much ditched everything other than mascara. I have clear eyelashes, so mascaras are mandatory.
Yeah. But isn't that the sweetest thing your man could say to you?
Yes, absolutely. I'm like, life is so much easier now.
Yeah, I guess you have to be careful with how you say it because there is I don't like something you look, and if you don't word it properly, I would probably be dead if I was in this situation.
As long as it's coming from a place of love.
Oh yeah.
True. Well, we
Hey,
have
What's happening, guys? We all good?
Mark. Always good. Always.
How we getting on? What are we talking about?
Well, honestly, nothing very important. I was talking about my makeup.
Your makeup.
Or the lack thereof nowadays.
Dennis
Do
and his
Mi- do
girlfriend
Mi-
are
do-
having
do
a
Michael
great
and-
carnival experience.
Do Michael and Dennis have their makeup on as well?
Oh, full face. Full face. They were telling me their regime.
Amazing, I can get it all done in only 5 minutes.
How we getting on, guys? How we getting on? Still killing it on social media?
Yeah, we're getting on good. I mean, we're getting a lot of Dennis's story, which is nice. Seeing the background and seeing how his girlfriend was super supportive. Sounds like serious wifey material to me. But who am I to
I
judge?
think she is wifey now.
We are.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
we are
right. That's right. 3
married,
years.
yeah.
You married. Yeah, you mentioned 3 years ago.
Well, we've been living together for 3 years, but we are married for almost a year. It's gonna be 30th of October. We're gonna have our
amazing.
first anniversary, yeah, and it's been
Nice.
great.
Congratulations.
And nice to meet you, Mark.
You too, pal.
Bye.
You too. How long you a carnivore now, Dennis?
Yeah, well, I've been telling my long boring story that I've been actually I first went carnivore at 2020, but then I had like some sickness with my sinuses, and I was on and off. I was actually through this period I was heavily meat-based still, but there was a lot of junk food and stuff like this, some binging. But now this most recent period, it's 1 year and 1 month.
Amazing. Are you doing pretty much strict carnivore, or have you added anything in?
Yeah, well, I've gradually sort of modified it. I used to have eggs and dairy, but now I had to take them away because I'm not I feel that I have some sensitivity towards egg white, and dairy just makes me puffy and my weight starts climbing up. So, and I feel it a little bit in my joints, so probably there is like some small inflammation from dairy. But now it's just basically beef, lamb, some organs, some pork here and there. Yeah, I haven't actually eaten chicken. Well, okay, I recently ate chicken wings for the first time in maybe half a year. For some reason, I don't respect chicken. I don't respect
No
chicken at all.
respect for the chicken.
Yeah.
I will say though, if you fry a chicken wing in beef tallow and you salt it really well before you fry it in there, for some reason, and maybe it's just a childhood nostalgia for me, but it's just like the crunch,
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah, yeah.
like moisture fresh out of the fryer. Don't wait 20 minutes. Like eat it right when it comes out.
Yeah.
Just don't burn
So-
yourself.
I
Yeah,
find
chick.
it.
Sorry,
Wait,
Selena, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I find it really interesting that after about my 6-month mark on carnivore, I cannot hardly stand to eat chicken at all anymore.
Mm.
Like-
Oh yeah, no, it can never be like the full plate. It's kind of it's like an additive on the side kind of.
Yeah.
There's like a smell to
Yeah.
it that I'm just like, nope, no thanks.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty much addicted to red meat at this stage.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and
Well,
it's,
we
and a
don't
chicken
have.
wing here and there if it's crispy enough. Right.
Yeah.
I'll
We
eat the
don't have.
skin
Sorry.
off.
Yeah. I'm the same. I'm the same as Mike. I like the crunchy part of the skin. That's about it.
Mm, mm.
But no,
No,
I never get bored of it. I know you guys are the same. Like red meat steaks. Like you can't get bored of eating the same food every day. You just can't.
You just figure out ways to
Exactly.
like fine tune it. So I decided
Yeah.
to I got like a $300 smoker, and I decided to like really smoke a brisket because normally I'll just do it in the oven. Talk about a game changer. It was just a nice change in what my normal routine is. So then I was like, you know what, that was a little nice texture. So what I did the other day is I took tallow and I threw garlic in it. So the tallow was kind of melting down in the pan with garlic, but then when I threw the steaks on, I took the garlic out, so I infused it. And the steaks had like the slightest hint of garlic, but it wasn't enough to where I was really consuming it. I was like, you know, this is kind of nice having like a slight little variance other than just having like it being pan fried in tallow on a pan with a little salt. I never get tired of eating it, but when you have like that other taste, you're like, oh, there's like this kind of other world that's kind of over there a little bit.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same. If I'm doing a little bit of seasoning, I'll always make sure I'll do it the night before, and it makes a massive difference.
Yeah.
Oh, it just tastes amazing. Are
You
you
gotta-
guys cooking your food on smoker, air fryer, or are you cooking the grill? Like, what's your preference?
I hate to say it, and I'm the most horrible affiliate. I feel like a crappy person for this. So I got my tasty air fryer, and I have to say
So
that
convenient.
thing, that's my jam.
Are you doing it
I'm with-
frozen? Or are you
I'm with
cooking
you,
it now?
Selena.
Frozen, not frozen.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't matter. Like,
Well, I tried it recently now in the last couple of months frozen, and honestly, it tastes even better.
right?
Tastes even better. Just straight out of the fridge, put it straight in, and then within 10 minutes, oh my God, it's just cooked
Right?
to perfection. Perfection.
Yeah.
I do it for 450. Like if it's frozen, 450, 10 minutes. Sometimes if I'm feeling like super fancy, I'll do 5 minutes and flip it and 5 minutes again. But air fryer.
It's too convenient.
Yes.
I'd probably say, even though I have a grill, all these things, it's covered. So it's like I don't want to like always undo it. So I'd probably say 95% of my cooking is in a stainless steel pan.
I still haven't got to that stage with the organs yet, guys. I'm getting there. Everybody keeps on telling me eat the liver, eat the heart. I know Tony's always asking me to eat the balls, and I'm like,
No, the
Tony,
balls have a really irritating.
I'm like,
I don't know how people eat testicle the way they do.
I don't think so, Michael. I was looking at Tony there a few weeks ago, and I was like, I don't care how good they look. No, not for me.
I don't. Well, I'm sorry, Tony. I love you. If you're watching, I love you. That does not look delicious.
No.
No, like I remember when there was even an episode where Paul Saladino was like, I'm going to go surfing, but first I'm having a bite of this testicle. And he took the bite, and it's like, you knew he was just trying to keep a straight face. But like every time he takes that bite,
you see it in the clench
better.
of his eye. There was like a little.
But I would say if you're gonna start with an organ, and I would say heart is the easiest.
Oh
It
yeah,
literally
I've tried it in the past.
like muscle.
Yeah. Sorry,
ahead.
Selena. Go. No, go ahead. Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
I'm just like walking all over you since you've come on. Decided I needed to talk now. I've been really curious about the chicken heart thing. I've never had chicken hearts. I don't remember who was saying it in our group chat. Somebody had brought it up this last week, and I was like, "How do you cook them?" Because I don't know. There's this weird idea I have in my head that it's going to be like eating chips. I don't know, like not the crunchiness of chips, but like that kind of snack concept.
Yeah,
So,
I actually have a recipe on my page. Like I used to do recipe videos, but I'm not doing too many videos at the moment because, well, I'm short on time and I ran out of recipes because I only cook it in air fryer
cook meat.
when it's also stainless steel pan, and when it's summer season on a gas grill outside. Yeah, and I take a lump of meat and I salt it and I fry it and that's it. And I'm not the best recipe guy
air dry
ever.
it in the fridge for a day or two before you do it, or you like? Because I just
don't even
put it
know
out
what
of the
that
bag.
is.
It's like still wet. I'm just throwing salt on it and just it's on the pan.
Yeah, well, sometimes I will marinate it with salt, you can say, but it's basically I prefer it fresh actually. But the chicken hearts, they're actually usually very cheap. They're very cheap per kilo, and you can quickly fry them with a lot of butter or tallow on a pan. It's still pretty good, and yeah, as you said, it's more like a snack on the side. It's like a garnish sort of thing. At least I feel this way. But advice for the heart, any heart, because it's kind of a tough muscle. You better boil it for a couple of hours, fully submerged. And then after that, you can finish it with some butter on the pan, and then it's just perfection. Yeah. For example, today I ate some pork heart with beef liver, and it was amazing. It just melts in your mouth when you take this heart and you boil it for enough time. Because when you try to just fry it as is, it comes out a little bit chewy. Have you felt that?
Yeah, I mean organs are mostly fat, so I mean if depending on how you cook them, or if you cook them at too high of a heat, it could tense up the muscle or the connective tissue that's in it. Yeah, I did when I ate my heart. I just did a quick sear, like maybe like a minute on each side, and just my first one I was afraid of what it was going to taste like, so I put like a dash of garlic powder on like a little portion. But I think if you're going to eat heart, go for beef heart or ruminant heart. And if you can't get that and you want some good bioavailable CoQ10, then I think chicken heart is like a pretty decent like absolute backup plan. But like I can't even imagine what the chicken heart would taste like, because it's like chicken. Like, have you ever had like real regenerative chicken? It's like their meat's pink. It's not even white.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, it has like a different, I don't even know how to explain it. I came across it in Colorado, and it's like I didn't even really like eating the chicken breast. I was like, this is like, so I'm curious what the heart would taste like. Maybe I should experiment and see if I can get some regenerative chicken heart.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. I don't think I have had a regenerative chicken heart because they wouldn't be so cheap. But they have a sort of weird texture. They, like, if you don't boil them, yeah, they are a little bit chewy, but because they're small and you cook them with a lot of butter, it turns out pretty good. Like, even if you manage to give it this, nice crunchy outside, then it's pretty good. But
I'm assuming salted.
it's like
and butter.
Yeah, salt and butter. Yeah, maybe tallow. Tallow is also very good, but it's like chicken, but chewy and a little bit. Forgot how it would be in English. Yeah, never mind.
I have to hop off. I gotta get I have to go get my daughter. I didn't realize it was 2:10.
Yeah, we've already been on for a while.
But thank you so much. It was nice to meet you, Dennis. It was good seeing you, Mark and Selena, always.
You too, buddy.
Yes,
And I'll catch up with you guys later.
Yes.
You will indeed.
Thank you, Michael. It
Speak
was
soon.
nice to meet you. See you some other time.
How do I do this? And he's just
Right?
gone. He's just gone. I have to ask you guys, what's your opinion on like raw meat? Do you guys eat that? Because I've done a few podcasts this week, and most of the people were saying they were getting like food problems, food diseases, and I was actually going to try it myself a few weeks ago because I see young Jonathan doing it all the time, and I'm like, okay, I might actually just try it. I've never actually tried to eat like a raw steak. Have you guys ever tried it?
So I have not myself, but we do feed that to our son, our youngest.
Okay.
Now, here's where I kind of cautionarily practice. If he gets that, it's only from the cleanest farm meats that we
Right.
have here locally. So
Yeah.
I don't just go get any grocery store
Okay. Yeah.
ground meat or steak or anything and let him go to town on that. And we don't do it every single day for him because I'm still kind of like learning and going through and what's okay and what's not okay. But our son does have some basically it's he has some issues with food and texture, and so he will not eat cooked meat.
Okay.
Period.
And why is that? Is it because why is it when it's cooked? What's the problem?
I think it's a texture thing.
I was going to
I
say that.
think
Yeah.
the texture changes for him, and
Right.
he's very, and I understand because I go through very similar things, but he seems to be more so than I ever was. If so, like, say I cook him something, I know that he loves eggs, but say I slightly overcook them, he won't do it. He won't
Okay.
even
Yeah.
touch them. He'll get one bite and it's over. And the problem is not only is it over, he won't eat for the rest of the day
Okay.
because it's like such a whatever for him when it happens. So I tried for months and months to try to get him to eat. Like I would do ground beef and I would try to cook like little tiny pieces of steak, and I would even try to like season it certain ways, just like please eat something. And he just won't. I mean, he would take a bite. It would get to the point to where we were like almost not pinning him down, but like trying to like just take one bite, see if you like it, because he just wouldn't. And then one day I set some steaks out on the counter and I was letting them rest before I cooked them. And I had turned around and I started getting other things like ready and done on the other side of the kitchen. And I turned back around and that child was chomping down on a ribeye just as hard as you could do it, and it was raw. And I was just like, I just stood there, and truly, had it not been for the fact that I had already seen Jonathan for like almost 6, 7 months, his content of him eating raw, I probably would have had a little bit of a freak out. But I just kind of was like, okay, he loves it, especially if I get like a ribeye or a T-bone and he has that fat edge to it. Oh man, that little 3-year-old will chomp down on that just as happy as can be. But if I cook it, you can forget it.
It's amazing because I've heard these stories, many of them. I only spoke to like Scott, the guy who owns meat stock in America, and he struggled with histamine issues for years and years and years. And he went to like specialists in the carnivore space, and they were saying to him like, listen, just instead of overcooking your food, have it semi-raw, but make sure you get it. Like make sure, like you said, make sure it's from a farm. Make sure it's not from a local shop because it'll be different. And that's what he was doing in the past. He was having the raw meats, but he was getting them from his shop, and he was messing up his gut issues. Nothing was improving until he went to his local farm, and he ate the same food, same. It was raw, and everything just fixed. Everything was perfect straight away.
So with my youngest, that's the only way he'll eat it. Now he'll eat eggs cooked. You know, he'll do the little chicken bites that I make with the Parmesan cheese. He'll eat those. But if I want him to eat any kind of, like, he won't eat cooked chicken. Like if I make chicken breasts or chicken thighs or something like that, and it's just the meat, won't touch it.
And sorry, Selena, is that like, does that have to be aged within a couple of days or on a week-to-week basis? Like, can you get meats and say freeze them and still use the same meat, or does it have to be used within a couple of days?
So I can freeze it and I can defrost it, but I can definitely notice a difference in his reaction. The fresher, the more preferred.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
So if I buy it and I know that I'm going to have to store it, I need to freeze it like immediately.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get any aging to it as much as possible.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. Well, about you, Dennis?
Yeah, well, I'm not averse to eating raw meat. Sometimes when I slap an extra chunky steak on the pan and I don't cook it properly, I start cutting it and it's like raw inside almost like the whole way. I'm like, whatever, and I'm gonna eat it. Although because of all of the information about possibilities of parasites and stuff like this, I have a thought in the back of my head. It's like, hopefully I'm not gonna get any worms from it, but it's actually fine. I digest it pretty well. And about Mark, were you asking about, is it better or worse, or how it is in
No, it's
regarding
just that
else?
I've heard both sides. Like, people say that when they have it, they'll get food poison, and then I've heard like the likes of Jonathan, he'll swear by it, and and that's what I'm gonna do. Now I've heard Selena's story; it makes actually more sense, and I've heard this in the carnivore space as well. It just it depends on where you get it from. So if I am gonna do it, I'm gonna make sure I'm getting it from a local farm or a local butcher's.
Well, actually, yeah, that's quite of a divisive topic in carnivore, and I have my own opinion about that. It's in terms of, do we all necessarily benefit from eating raw meat? Probably not as much, because, well, we have evidence that goes some 900,000 years ago of first cooking tools. So we have probably adapted to it throughout this period. It's true that some nutrients are denatured when you are cooking meat, and especially, well, it depends on how thoroughly you do it. But anyway, from most, well, just in common sense tells us that most of the people eat their meat pretty cooked, and they're doing great on carnivore. Though some people, yes, they say that when they eat it raw, I heard that some people need to eat less of it so that they get satiated more quickly from smaller amount. Some people with probably, yes, histamine issues, they could potentially benefit from that. And well, people with certain gut sensitivities and stuff like this. But in terms of can you get parasites from it, this is also a very interesting topic, because from what I hear, at least in the modern world, we have quite a good system where when it comes to our table, it's probably parasite free. Actually, you probably know Stephen Thomas, UK carnivore, Coach Stephen. I heard him say, he was telling about one study in, I think, US, and he said that the FDA examined some samples of meat. It was like 27,000, if I remember correctly, 27,000 samples of meat from various sources, and they analyzed all of them thoroughly for parasites, and they didn't identify one single one with parasites. And knowing that this is FDA, they probably really wanted to find it there, you know. Yeah. So it seems that by all accounts, it's probably okay if that's at least beef and lamb. But if, for example, if it's pork and chicken, they say that, well, probably there is more chance that you will catch something from it. But well, then another thing though is that when they transport meat from place to place, that's actually where most contamination occurs, if it does. So you have to sort of have faith in logistics of all of that. But yeah, I'm personally a little bit hesitant to do that because I just don't feel the need for it myself, and maybe better safe than sorry. But yeah, some people, they say that it's actually makes them feel better and lighter, and there is nothing wrong with that.
I
100%.
also kind of wonder too, like, if there's a difference between somebody who is a recently transitioned into a carnivore versus somebody who's been carnivore for a while. Like, if like, say for instance, you, Mark, how you've been carnivore for an extended period of time. It's not like it's been 4 or 5 months, and you've been on for a while. If the adaptation of what your body already is functioning from would be more adaptable to a potential raw diet versus somebody who's only recently transitioned a year or less.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, definitely. I just feel like, for me personally, I've been doing the cooked steaks now for a long time now, and I feel when it's semi-cooked, I feel so much better. Like when when it's pink in the middle, when it's just semi-raw, like it's just literally cooked about a minute and a half on each side, I feel I don't know what it is. I just have my energy is so much better. My gut issues are so much better. I just feel that when I overcook the meat or cook it way too long, it just sits in my stomach.
Yeah.
So it's just not. It doesn't feel good. So I want to test it out for myself. I just want to see what happens what will happen if I just eat it completely raw, because I'm always experimenting. I just want to see what I'll have, the effect it'll have on my body.
Yeah,
I'm curious too. Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that that's the only way to know for sure how you are going to react if you try it for some. Well, give it a few weeks maybe.
Yeah.
But you never know for sure. But if you are, I guess, if you are a little bit paranoid about parasites, then you could do some testing afterwards, just to be sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting experiment, sounds like.
It is, because at the end of the day, I was told for years I need to have salt on my food and sodium on my food. I haven't had sodium on my food now in over 2 years. I don't use any salt on my food at all. I'm getting all the sodium I need in the meat, so I haven't touched salt in a long, and that's just me. I've just experimented on myself,
I like it
and
too. I can't help it.
I just feel so much better with it. So that's it.
Yeah.
I know people will probably be listening to this and saying, "Yeah, you need your salt, you need your electrolytes."
No, actually, you need it. Yeah, you need it as long as you need it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
I don't think. Yeah,
sorry?
I think Dr. Shafi is the same. I don't think he uses salt on his meats either.
I don't believe he does either, and I don't believe he's a huge proponent for introducing a lot of like external electrolytes for yourself. I don't think he's opposed to them 100%, but I don't think he pushes them as a absolute necessary. Only, I think, in extreme cases for certain people who end up having like a lot of leg cramp issues severely when they first start transitioning over. From what I remember when I was reading his whole protocol and his system, that's something that he'll kind of play with at that point in time. But just in general, if somebody's not having some of those severe issues during transition, I don't think he's a huge proponent for it.
No, and I remember when I competed a few years ago in bodybuilding, The only time I added the electrolytes in was when I was very, very lean, like very, very lean.
Right.
I'm walking around with like say 5% body fat.
Mhm.
That's when my body relied on more electrolytes, that sodium uptake. But when
Yeah.
when my food volume was high, I just didn't. There was no need for me to supplement with electrolytes. That's just me. I
Right.
just didn't need them at all. And same with the sodium. I was getting everything I needed in the meat, so I wasn't waking up and I didn't have any cramps at all. So yeah, I think I'm not saying you shouldn't be taking electrolytes. You should be
Right.
experimenting them on. But I just feel like if you're eating a lot of food, I just think you're getting everything you need.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Dennis. Go
I
ahead.
just wanted to ask Mark, for how long have you been carnivore?
5 years now.
5 years now. Yeah, it's usually, well, when electrolyte balance is discussed, what is usually said is that the longer you are on carnivore, the more chances that your body balances it out, like ideally for you. I would imagine that if you would salt your food, it would taste worse than without it.
Well, when I tried it a few months ago, and funny enough, I was getting these issues in my stomach. I was getting this bloatness, gasiness, and I was like, no, that's not for me. And the quality of the salt I was having, the quality of the salt I was having was really good. It just didn't agree with me at all.
Now, there's people like my husband who he is naturally a very, very lean person in general, like even before carnivore. And even since becoming carnivore, I think he's lost like over 20 pounds. And he's already just a very lean person. But I do notice for him, if he does not have enough electrolytes, within a week, he gets leg cramps really bad again. So it's like, I think that can be somewhat dependent on, to a certain extent, your own physiology. Like, because I don't need as much as he does, like by any means. So I think like for some people, and possibly like the extent of how long you've been carnivore, like you were saying, your body has found its sort of its baseline to exist.
Yeah, I mean, when I look back, say 5 years ago, the amount of the amount of meat that I used to eat, I would probably struggle to get through a pound of meat in a day. Whereas nowadays, 5 years later, I'm probably putting away around 4, maybe 4.5 pounds of meat a day, easily.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's because I've adapted over the years. Like I've more muscle mass now, and my body can absorb this food very, very quickly. But I can easily put away 4 pounds of meat, like probably in like 2 hours, easily.
That's like, I hear Jenny when she tells me about how much she eats, and I'm like, where is it going?
Yeah, I know.
Where are you putting that?
Because that's the one thing I get all the time from people. Like I only put a video up the other day, and they were like, "There's no way you're eating all that food." And I'm like, I could have ate another meal. Trust me. Trust me. That wasn't enough. Trust me. I'm like, okay. When I eat this food, I'm like, okay, am I okay? Do you need more? I might go in and do another steak. So it's just crazy the amount of food, how your body adapts over the years, and the amount, because I've seen women that I've took on. These are only small ladies, and they come on, they're only 5 foot tall, and they'll say to me, "Mark, I want to lose weight," and I'm like, "You're not losing any more weight. You need to do a reverse diet." And I'm not even joking with you. Within 6 months, these women are putting away like nearly 3 pounds of meat in a day,
Right?
and they're only small women. They're tiny.
That's what I'm saying.
Tiny.
Jenny's tiny. She's tiny. She's like 120 pounds, like 5.
It's insane.
I don't know what.
It's insane.
She's like, I know at one point she said somewhere, she was like, yeah, I out eat Carlos, and he's like twice my size.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, where are you putting it?
Yeah. Honest to God. It's unbelievable.
Actually, we are joking with my wife that she tends to eat more than I do, and she of course she's smaller than me. She's very fit, like she's not increasing this size or anything, and everybody's also asking like, where does it go? Because I'm bigger than her, and I also have a background in fasting, like intermittent fasting, or maximum that I did was 32 hours, so not not fasting, but I can go a long time without food and don't feel any problem. Sometimes I will forget to eat. Like the thing is that it's so satiating that I'm like, oh, I haven't eaten in like 13 hours. Okay, maybe I need to do something with that. But my wife, she has a healthy appetite, but she never gains. She now that she is on carnivore, she never gains.
Yeah, it's amazing this diet how easy fasting is, isn't it? Because I'm like you, Dennis. There's some days when I'm looking at my watch and I'm like, oh my God, it's 2 p.m. and I still haven't eaten, and I'm up since 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, okay, I should eat, but I'm looking at my watch and I'm like, well, I'm looking at my watch, but I'm not hungry. I'm still not hungry. There's some days when I'll just go, okay, I need to eat. It could be 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the day, and then again, I might need to eat again probably at 8 o'clock at nighttime. I just go off how I feel. I never go off the time. I never have an eating window. I just go off how I feel. Like today, I've had a meal. I had a meal today about 11 o'clock. I probably won't eat again now for the rest of the day. I'm done now. I'm quite full. I'm quite happy. But I know tomorrow might be different. I might have 2 meals tomorrow, and then the day after that, I might just stick to 1 meal. So it's not the same every day for me. It's never like 2 meals consistently. Some days I'll probably do a 24-hour fast, but it's an easy 24-hour fast because I'm just allowing my body just to say, you know what, okay, everything's okay. There's nothing to panic about. Let's do a fast, and then the next day I'm ready to go again. It just gives me the jump that I need.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly, and also it depends on your activity levels and stuff like this, and your stress levels. And as you said, you need to listen to yourself, and your body will tell you. That's how it should be. That's
100%.
so intuitive. Maybe sometimes fasting protocols, like I would recommend when I'm coaching clients. In some cases, I would recommend doing some fasting on top of that, just so they would get the final results that they want to, or if they have some health issues that otherwise don't warrant constant eating, so to say. But with myself, if I'm training a lot, for example, then I just eat more. If I don't train too much, then I would eat like a very small portion during the day, and I'm going to be totally fine. And I always have great energy, always focused. Like I don't starve at all, and that's awesome. The weight doesn't change. So yeah, that's.
And I see you're a carnivore coach. Who's your niche? Are you working more towards men or women at the moment?
Yeah, well, it's anybody. I actually recently got my certification, and I was talking about actually I was coming to how I got into the certification, but we digressed a little bit. So maybe I can talk a little bit about that, if that's okay, guys.
That's okay.
So I was talking about my wife previously, and that she tried carnivore with me, and that I'm like telling her all of this stuff. Oh, here is this mechanism, here is the Randall cycle, and like I'm nerding out. And she told me one day that, hey, you have to start social media. You have to get it out. Well, and I was like, well, I don't know. I'm a hesitant kind of person. I haven't done a lot of social media before. But then I was telling that Eddie and Coach Peter started this program, Carnivore Coach International, and I told that I was following Eddie Goki, and he was promoting it on his page, and I was like, well, like for a month I was like, oh, maybe it's a good idea, but I don't know, I have stuff to do and things like this. But then I told my wife, and she was like, what are you thinking about? Just go and enroll. That's your thing. That's literally your thing. I was like, well, okay, yeah. And I really enjoyed it. I got certified, and my practice is, well, it's still in the beginning, but I already coach people and they are getting results, which is great. And you asked if I specialize in anything. It's basically, my philosophy is carnivore for everybody, for any reason. Mostly, I try to promote it as it is now for weight loss, because that's what hooks people. Because some people would hear about carnivore from somewhere and they would get interested, but it will fly over most people's head. But the weight loss is something that people are, well, a lot of people are interested in, that they have the goals. And a lot of my clients just want to get in shape.
Yeah.
But some of the people, well, not even the clients, some people may contact me and ask, well, I have this kind of situation, I have a thyroid issue, or I have a gut issue, or insulin sensitivity, and yeah, I'm having conversations, and I'm saying, even if you are not, I can coach you on that. Basically, any condition, I believe that carnivore may help, with a few exceptions. Maybe with a few exceptions, the modified carnivore will help. Like, it's not that you have to eat 400 of grams of carbs per day, if you have something. But yeah, I think it should be available for everyone, and I welcome anybody who has any goal regarding their nutrition.
Can I ask your opinion? What's your opinion on tracking macros, or are you just telling people just to eat until you're full?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because first of all, for the majority of people, when they just start, first of all, I emphasize transitioning, so don't jump in fast, because, well, you can have some adaptation issues that you don't want to have necessarily. And then when people when they transition and they are on more or less clean carnivore, or at least low carb, I work with low carb and keto as well. But it's basically the same principle, that I don't use calories as a metric at all. I think it's pretty much useless. But for most of people in the beginning of their journey, I would say just eat until you're full. They usually start seeing results straight away. Maybe some of them need to push through a month, or like months and a half, 2 months, and then they start seeing the weight dropping.
Yeah.
But I would use, I think that tracking is useful when the person, when they have to push this, well, when they stall and they need to push this last bit, sort of thing. Because for example, how it is with my body composition, I'm a person who packs fat very quickly. And almost no matter what I do, if I'm just eating until satiety, I'm going to have a little bit of belly fat, a little bit of love handles, and for example, when I want to get abs, I will start tracking, because this will give me the final push towards that. And the question is, well, do you really need it? Because I think that not everybody has to be shredded all the time, because mostly my concern is your health and well-being, and my health and well-being. But people have different goals, and yeah, that's where tracking is important. Some people, when they start, some people are more organized than others, and for them it helps in the beginning, actually. But it's been only a few cases, and usually people just eat intuitively. But some people, they benefit, it makes them disciplined. They track their macros, it keeps them, okay, I'm doing something, I'm organized, like this is my goal, it helps you. It can definitely help you. But my philosophy mostly is, as make it in the least stressful way possible. Like, make it just so you don't have to care about anything at all, because I come from well, amateur fitness background, and I was cutting and bulking, and I was tracking calories, macros, and it always felt tedious, and it always felt like unnatural, you know what I mean? So I try to push this idea of simplicity for the people, but well, everybody needs different approaches.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I'm the same. Like when I take on someone, we're always focusing on the healing process first. But there does come a stage when they do want to focus on the weight loss, and this is what really frustrates me in the carnivore community, because I've taken on clients in the past that have come from carnivore coaches, and they've said that I need to be on a high fat diet. I need to be on a high fat diet. I'm going to lose the weight. Now, I'm sorry, if the weight is not coming off you, then there's something going wrong here. We need to look at your macros, and that's when we'll get the results. So when people are saying to me, I've been on a high fat for over 20 days or 30 days and I'm still not getting results, I'm like, okay, you should have went back to your coach after 10 days and said, listen, nothing is moving here. Because yes, we all know how important the carnivore is for healing. We all know this. It's amazing. But at the same time, there's a lot of people out there that want to lose the weight. They've been struggling to lose weight for such a long time. They tried everything. They're absolutely convinced that they're on carnivore and all they have to do is just eat whatever they want and they will lose weight. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way.
It's there's definitely that, because that sort of scenario is the same scenario that happened with me and my husband. We were, same foods as far as like general intake, same everything. And like I said, he dropped over 20 pounds, no questions asked, like it was nothing. It was almost, he did it so fast, and his intention was not to lose weight at all. So it wasn't like he was even trying to, but he did it so fast that we were like, is this a problem? Like, is this not okay? Like, how are you doing? And then I, on the other hand, that was not the story. That was not the case. So it's like you said, Mark, it's just because there's this, I call it the perfect ideology that's put out there on social media. It's like carnivore does not mean it's the end all be all and all your problems are going to be fixed and there's no hiccups and there's no hurdles to overcome and it's butterflies and golden rainbows. It can be, but that doesn't mean that there's not other things to walk through that you're going to experience. Some people have harder transitions than others. Some people have to go through some pretty severe detox scenarios compared to others. So the idea that you just go carnivore and this is going to be perfect and everything's going to go great is not, it's not the whole picture.
No.
And
at the yes, sir. No, at the end of the day, like, we all know that fat will never make you fat. But what we need to understand is, if you're extremely obese, do you actually need that much fat, or can you tap into your own body fat?
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. So let's say an average person, let's say I take on someone, let's say they're 300 pounds. Does this person really need 300 grams of fat? Or can I bring that down to, say, 160, maybe 150? Of course I can. It's not going to do any damage. They're still going to feel good. Now, if they're getting back to me and saying, Mark, I still feel great, I have so much energy, bingo, you've hit the sweet spot. They feel great. So I don't need to mess around. I don't need to mess around with the fats. Now, if they're coming back to me, my energy's good, I feel great, but guess what? I'm losing so much weight on a week-to-week basis. Bingo. That's what I want. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, that's what they came to you for. They came to you before because they want you to get them healthy. But at the same time, in order to get healthy, you need to take the weight off them.
Yeah. And Selena, you made a very good point that it's very different for everyone. It doesn't mean that carnivore is necessarily not for everyone, but everyone needs to do carnivore in their own way. And it sounds very simple as a concept. You just eat meat, and that's all you eat, and that's it. But that's not how it works. And with different people, my tactic, coming back to it, is to first let them just eat intuitively. But then we are tracking if they're having progress or not, if they're having improvements or not. And then there are some levers we can pull in order to adjust it for their needs. For example, some people, they actually require more exogenous fat. I fall into the category of people who actually eats leaner than most carnivores. For example, if I overeat fat, I'm not feeling as optimal. And I actually start packing packing some mass back again. And it's very different for everybody, and you have to do it through trial and error. There is no other way around. But there are levers to pull, and if you know what mechanisms to try and what tactics to apply, then you will find a way eventually, for sure.
I'll tell you what works really, really well from the people that I work with is when you take fat away from the body for about 1 or 2 days a week. So I call this like a protein fast. Like you're literally there's no fat in those days whatsoever. You're just tapping into your own body fat and you're just relying on protein. Now you're only having a small amount, so let's say around 10 or 20 grams of fat a day. But if you are, you're gonna have that in the first part of the day. But I see amazing results. The water comes off very, very quickly. The body fat comes off very, very quickly. But we're not doing this for very, very long, because at the end of the day, if you're relying heavily on protein, we know that's not going to be a good energy source. You can only get energy pretty much from carbohydrates or fats. So I only do this for a short-term solution. But when I do it for a short-term solution, within those 2 weeks, I see a massive, massive drop in weight. Huge drop, because they're tapping into their own body fat and they're losing it very, very quickly.
Yes, exactly. Fat is usually the first lever that I'm trying to pull. Adjusting fat, reducing the amount and making it more lean. Well, as you said, you cannot make it lean for a sustainable long amount of time, but you have to fluctuate it. Maybe 2 days leaner cuts, 1 day you are eating more fat but sparing protein.
Yeah.
But there are different tactics around it, and there are different mechanisms that are involved. For example, it can work also with protein sparing effect. You guys remember sugar fasting?
Yeah.
That was the thing.
Of course. Yeah.
I
Where is it now?
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to say, I wonder where it's now. But so
And
it
yet
works.
we're the fad, right?
You've probably followed the discussion around this topic, because when you are sparing the protein in your diet and you're only consuming, let's say, one fuel source, or either glucose or fat, what it does, it doesn't activate the Randall cycle. So your metabolism is a little bit faster. And what it also does, the protein sparing effect, it activates this FGF21 peptide, which makes your body more catabolic, and you start actually losing fat. So that's why some people, even eating tons of sugar, they were experiencing this effect of weight loss. But well, the question is the weight loss the only goal, or is the goal not to get diabetes while doing that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, at the end, sorry, Selena, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm about to change subjects, so you finish what you're saying.
No, I was just going to say, like, we all know we can go on any diet we want. We can go on the vegan diet, we can go on the sugar diet, we can go on any diet we want, and we know we can lose weight. But at the end of the day, you're never going to be healthy. And this is why that sugar diet was never going to last. It was never going to last. Okay. At the end of the day, if you're losing weight, but you've developed type 2 diabetes, I mean,
or your organs shut down because
your organ, exactly.
Like,
you're not getting any nutrients whatsoever.
It was never going to work long term. Never.
No.
Yeah, and they say that carnivore is a fad.
It's so funny to me. So this person, Leo, had a question that I put up a while ago, and I just kind of want to touch base on it. Our opinion on eating only organic foods. What do you guys feel on that?
Well, do you mean organic with organic label in a supermarket, or organic in which sense? Because it's a tricky question.
It is a tricky question.
Yeah, because in Finland we have this mark which is called luomu. It basically means organic, and it doesn't mean that no pesticides haven't been used, no GMOs involved, anything like this. It just means that certain practices which are sort of required by the law to get this category of product. But when you get organic label product from supermarket, it usually almost everywhere. I think in Europe and the US it's almost the same. That you really have to, I would advise to really look into your local laws and what they require from this term used, organic, and see for yourself, because I even think that somewhere in Europe they still use glyphosate in organic produce, but I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure. So
Well, they're very, like you said, it's very similar here in the US as well. Like there's a specific set of guidelines, and if you meet this criteria in the practice of, you know, your whatever your farming practice, whether it's plants, whether it's animals, doesn't matter. If you meet this specific criteria, which sadly there are a lot of very blurry gray lines that you can sort of sneak in practices that are not clean, that are not non-GMO, that are not non-pesticide, herbicide, fungicide, or chemically altered mechanisms to be able to do this, you can still end up passing through the legal guidelines of organic. My family owns a farm up in Maryland, and that was one of the interesting stipulations about we making compost amendments and compost tea, and we decided not to go through the expenditures of getting legally claimed organic, and we just state that our product's beyond organic because it's better than what you can get even as an organic based product. It's just a label that most people are paying for to get the legalization of that stamp, sadly.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, guys, I have to go.
No,
But Dennis,
I
it's been a pleasure.
yes, likewise. Nice to meet you, Mark.
Nice to meet you, Selena. It's always a pleasure meeting yourself as well.
Same every time.
And I'll speak to you very, very soon. All right.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Speak soon, guys. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye, Mark. I think we're going to go ahead and shut it down ourselves if you're good with that. We're at a little over an hour 45, and I think this has been a great conversation. So, Dennis, a pleasure. Everybody else, until next time.
Yes, the pleasure is mine, and thank you for having me. Let's do it some other time.
Of course.
All right.